All right. This episode, it's been a long time coming, especially since I learned that after you defeat Haze, that is when the last of the game's quests are unlocked. So perfect time for this sort of episode. But if you're not a fan of side quests, side dungeons, you don't care about any of those, then this episode is not for you, unfortunately. But Friday we will get back to usual commentary style. So this episode is dedicated to the quests, all the quests that I did and how I did them, where I went, all that. So before we start, I'd like to thank the people at 7dragon.wikidot.com. Wikidot.com. That's 7dragon.wikidot.com. And Araxxor's text-based playthrough of 7dragon DS. Because thanks to those, I was actually able to complete all these quests. Some of these quests are basically like not even possible without a guide, because there was a translation error in one of them that just did not. There was no way to really solve it normally without looking it up. Or, you know, without this, I would have been stumbling around looking for drops in a game that, you know, has low drop rates, no monster book, no item book, don't even know what monsters drop what. So, both people are linked in the description, and the footage shown will be me going through side dungeon Briskeria Ruins. Pretty sure that's how it's said. So to start, Miracle Forest. This dungeon is near Nevin Place. There's a quest called Hawkeye Hunt. You can reach it by getting to this shortcut here. After that, you go get the quest, after the NPC talks to you, then you go to this shortcut to reach the boss. So you fight the boss, and this is actually the first time I was able to use triple kiss in the game. Of course it was off screen, but let's go, triple kiss! After you defeat the boss, you go back to the cabin, and you get what seems like the ultimate bow rogue weapon, so that's for your boy Nikki. Then you turn in the quest. I forgot what the reward was for turning into the quest, but of course, do that anyway. And the boss of the ruins, the Briskeria Ruins, which are on screen now, will get you the ultimate axe weapon, also for your boy Will. So, while I go through that dungeon, let me show you side quests and side dungeons I did off screen. So, you ready? Starting with Dome Volcano. So I knew I needed to clear out all the dragons, but I forgot the whole mechanic in this dungeon, which you have to defeat these mini bosses in there, which weaken the flame meter by the looks of it. I don't know how it weakens it, I don't know how much, but wasn't necessary for my team. Still, had to defeat those guys. So here come the actual quests. Long Lost and Found. So talk to this NPC twice, because they don't give the correct code the first time. This is one of the translation issues. The first line they give, I forgot what it was, W something, but that's not right. It's K-E. So then you go to the bookshelves on the right side of the same room you got the quest from, and you click on the books. King Lear, Ada, Twilight, I, Claudius, and Emma, in that order. The initial spell Katie, which is the author's name. After you do that, talk to the NPC to complete the quest, and by completing the quest, you get the ability to teleport to the top floor from the outside entrance of the Pleroma Tower. Next, Emeppo's Challenge. This one actually does not matter at all how many you get right or wrong, so basically do what you want here, it's just for fun. Still, if you want the answers, check the 7dragon Wikidot site, linked in the description. They tell you what's what. Next, crack the code. First, talk to the NPC, get the quest, go to Portal Ray, because it's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, da. You go to Ray. Then you talk to the NPC there, and you go to this spot in Nevin Place specifically, this spot right here. You click on there, you get some dialogue, then you go to Simon Village. And here's what you do. You click yes, yes, no for set 1. Then you click yes, no for set 2. And then yes, 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 no for set 3. Again, the 7dragon Wikidot site will tell you exactly how that goes, in case that was confusing. Next, you go to the Miros Quest office. In the English translated version, this just goes completely incorrectly translated. The reason is because the original text was Miros Quest Office spelled backwards in Japanese. So unless you like Japanese was your first language, you know what's what. It is not an easy thing to realize that, oh, this is translated. This is backwards Japanese, you know? So yeah, the fan translator, Poketax, you know, completely understandable. He wasn't able to figure that out. So yeah, you see why I eventually needed a guide like Mamma Mia. I would not have been able to do this. Go to Kazan and interact with the statue in the middle of town, because that is Remus. That's the statue of the horse. And as it turns out, the quest was made by Agoto, let hunters take a little break and have some fun while they're doing all their hunting missions. You know, of course this is made before the dragon apocalypse hit. So, one of the rewards is Doris's belt, which gives plus 30 life and mana. I will keep it in honor of him, but I don't really see anyone needing to equip that, you know. So that's that. Next quest. Red suit, white beard. God, this quest has been in the inventory forever. So, I talked to this NPC in Pleroma, and he told me where the books on Santa were. We've actually read these books before, but I did get new text by checking it while having this quest active, which must have been what stopped me from advancing it, so. You go, look at those books, it gives you some new dialogue. After that, so I actually just went to Bassoon's house because I wanted to start this other quest, which we'll be going over later. And I talked to Volg on the way, because I was wondering, I was like, oh yeah, the Miral's quest line. Do you continue it? What happens? Who continues it? When do I get it? And then of course, you know, this showed up. I said yes though. I said yes. It turns out there's actually multiple NPCs who can be your Santa, including Emil. Yes, the little blonde Emil can be your Santa. I forgot the other characters who can be. I think Dion was one of them, but he's dead by this point. So yeah, you got time limits for certain NPCs. And you know, Emil's in jail, so you can't really get her either now, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I apparently never gave the NPC for this quest the bird meat. So I picked one of those up from the dodos near Miros, you know, the purple dodo enemies. And with that, Santa came to town, and we finally completed this quest. Next, a fasting monk. Very quick, very easy, very beautiful. You talk to this NPC in Zezaport and buy the 100 gold fish. Apparently there's different costs, and the other costs don't actually give you the right item. The first one I got was the 1,000 gold one, and I just bought that. Apparently that is the one you want. So, buy the 1,000 gold fish, give that to the monk in the Hero Ice Cave. Quest complete. The Amnesiac. So you talk to the brother in Zezaport, and present as many items as you can. All those key items, just keep presenting them, Eventually, you go back to the sister in Kazan, and get the amulet. You know, the sister in one of those houses in Kazan, you know what I'm talking about. You go back to the brother, and you complete the quest from there. You know, get cutscenes, mission complete. Ruined Secrets. This is the quest I was going to check Bassoon's house for before Volk jump scared me with the idea of Santa Claus. So, for Ruined Secrets, talk to Bassoon of course, then you go to the Northern Pesta entrance, and you step right in here. Then you keep going. You interact with this tile right here, and a staircase will reveal itself. Get those papers, and part 1 of this quest is complete once you go back, give them to Bassoon. And so yeah, part one, here's part 2. Sleeping Within. So part 2, start by talking to Bassoon, you get the card from him, and then you put it in here. This is that room I was looking at when we were getting that piece for Faro. I was like, well, okay, this doesn't even lead to a boss. What is this room for? Yeah, this room, there's a big, I don't know, maybe not big, but there's a room of robots. There's about 2 rooms of robots. So take them out, you can do it. But I mean, you don't really need to, because these guys don't actually count towards your dragon killing counter. I was realizing that. I was like, wait a second, this doesn't count. I'll still defeat them all though. In the end, you throw down with this loser. As you can see, the team I brought was built to kill.
It's time for you to...
In the end, before we go back to Bassoon, we can also witness future technology at work. And once you turn this quest back into Bassoon, you get the airship speed increased. So that's actually really nice. You know, I use turbo anyway, but now I got turbo with the speed boost. We're going fast, Next quest, the Great Question. So, you get your 3 sharp claws dropped by the Nighthawks, or 3 sharp fangs dropped by the Blue Wolves. Both can be found in the Zenda Thicket dungeon. Though I will say, I ended up getting the sharp claws from the Nighthawks inside of Mount Tadoa, because it just felt like I had an easier time running into the Nighthawks in there. So get 3 of both if you want to commit to the 3rd option that the merchant gives you. Because if you say no to dog person and no to cat person, he'll be like, oh, you neither of them? You got some other special animal? You say yes, you need to get 3 of both. So, giving 3 fangs gives you a pet dog in our house. Giving us 3 claws gives us a pet cat. And both. Brother, we got a cow from both. We got a guard cow. That's our best friend. Mission complete. Really, really nice feeling in our hearts to get a pet guard cow. Next, collect a beard. So the enemy that drops this is the Summer Tortoise from the Hyoron Grotto, which is where Invisible was. I completely forgot about that dungeon. What I knew is from obviously some enemy with a beard, but yeah, I thought it was from one of those walrus-like enemies with a beard. No, it's just from these turtles here. Next up, we got quests that I had not started or found before. So first, Ice Maiden. This is actually one of the scenario quests, technically. So to start, go to the Corlia Inn to start. Spire asks you to go into Feinda Hollow and get a Panacea herb in a hidden room. So to get in that room, you need to examine the torch in the front, is what he says. So start by going in this secret passage right here and hitting this switch. Now you press this switch. Now interact with the skeleton back in this room. You can open the chest if you want, but you're not getting treasure. Still, I mean, you might as well open it. But yeah, interact with the skeleton. The skeleton is what gets you the herb. So after you complete the quest, leave and come back to the Corlia Inn, and Rin will give you the medium layer passive skill, which lets you harvest up to 15 times in a row. Next quest, a single twin. All you gotta do is get one top-notch wood, which can be harvested from the Gofa Desert or Miracle Forest. I went to the Gofa Desert, just letting you know. Next, collect collections. This quest, obtained by this guy in the High Rain. That's how it's pronounced, right? You can only get this quest after completing all the other collect X items quests, like the 100 birds quest, 100 bird feather quest, which I did do off screen. I can't remember if I talked about it, but yeah, I did that off screen. And the 20 violet main quest is the only other one I can remember that has multiple, that's like a collect quest. But this quest cannot be completed yet. I don't think we complete it yet. The item that we need is from a dungeon that we're gonna be getting to pretty shortly. Not in this episode. So now, scenario quests. These are the last set of quests that I finished off screen. So, Rival Guild. This is the scenario quest that we've already started, which is about, the Kingsblade Guild. So when we last left off, we spoke to Erin about a sword. Apparently, it's been so long, I don't remember. But now, go in there, talk to Erin again, and she, the quest eventually tells you, go into the Feinda Hollows. So, defeat a dragon there. After that, you go to sleep with our guard cow watching over us. Then you go talk to Erin. Talk to her twice just to make sure, because the first time, seeing got different dialogue. Talk to her twice, then head towards the east exit of Kazan for another scene here. Then talk to Erin, sleep with your pet cow again, then go back to Erin, and then watch one last scene and the Rival Guild scenario will be complete. Next, you get Miros's Queen, next scenario quest. When we last left off, we talked to Queen Emerald about her regrets, then we talked about Hayes taking over the Valorian Wood. And now that Hayes is dead, talk to her again. And as we learn, this Discord mod shit is serious, because Griff almost died for real. So after this scene, you go to sleep. Go to sleep knowing that you're alive, Griff almost died. Then talk to Queen Emerald again. Now, go back to talk. Go talk to Volg. That's the point. Go talk to Volg. Emerald's like, okay, we need Volg back. We gotta need some help. We're kind of screwed around here. So talk to Volg. He'll immediately be like, of course, I'll come back. So come back to the throne room, and Queen Emerald will give a speech to all Miros citizens at the end of it. After this scene, the Queen of Miros scenario will be complete. I will say, I'm surprised with how, Volg was just handled that situation just completely maturely. He's just like, well, of course, I'll come back, of course. We left, and, I left, I chose to leave after she told me to, of course, I didn't hold any grudge, and, I'm gonna come back just as quickly, like, I will always serve under her if she asks, as long as she asks. He's like, okay, very respectful of you, very respectful Volg. So, after you finish the Queen of Miros scenario, talk to Queen Emerald and she'll give you the Aegis. She'll also tell you that a matching sword is kept beneath the stone of Valorian Wood. If you remember, before we fought Hayes, I was talking about this stone I found, that's where you go. But she tells you to examine the stone 3 times from the right and twice from the left. After you do that, get a staircase, go down, collect your sword, and don't forget to equip it, because it's some good stuff. Same with the shield. By the way, they are both night exclusive, so that's some good food for Miss Cider. Next scenario quest, the Roosh People. So you start by doing the Perfect Armor quest. And to do this quest, just talk to Bernard in the Melorite workshop. You get a little scenario, Sierra will walk in, they'll talk a bit about armor. You get 4 weathered hides, which you get from the mammoths inside the Tower of the Gods or the High Mel Sanctuary. I went to the Tower of the Gods, and this is the point in my life where I used an Oblivion Pearl on Makai so she could learn Scholar Lore. Yeah, the item drop increasing passive. I could not get Weather Hides, bro. Why? Why? I had to get this skill. Eventually, I got the 4. After completing the Perfect Armor quest, go to sleep, then go back to the workshop to start a scene. After you watch that scene, go to sleep somewhere other than Melorite Workshop, I think. And go to sleep for 2 days just to make sure. I went to sleep in Nevin Place 2 nights in a row. Then you go talk to Bernard. And again, after you finish this scene, go sleep somewhere other than Melorite Workshop. I chose Nevin Place again. Then go talk to Bernard again. And after this, Bernard says he wants to go check on Jake, but he's not sure where to go. He asks himself, where would I go if my feelings were hurt? He says something like that. And like, actually, for a while, I was like, okay, where do you go? Where do you go? Because the guide actually stops giving advice after this. The guide stops after that, so I was like, alright, it's up to me, I got it, no problem. So I had to think, okay, where would Jake go? Somewhere that has to do with his dad, right? Because this is kind of like, I'm not going over the details of these scenario quests, see him yourself. But yeah, it's very Rouge focused, so I'm like, okay, where would Jake go? Eventually, I was like, yeah, you gotta go to the Colossal Structure. That is the most likely a place where Jake would just kind of be, because I went to the throne room. No, he's not there. I mean, he's there, but he gives you the same generic dialogue. Go to the Colossal Structure and watch the cutscene there, and it won't be long till the Rouge people scenario gets complete. After that, you talk to Jake. He gives you the ultimate staff. That's right, that staff, which his father wielded. It was a hammer, and it's made for the combat medic. Jin's eating good, to summarize. Next, and basically last, the Holy Sword. This is the Zezu quest, the one that we kind of progressed without even realizing it was a scenario quest. So when we last left off, Zezu realized that Goto was still alive in spirit after we left. And then we defeated Haze, and Goto's fused the Dragon Slayer. We need to go check on him again. But there's someone in front of his house, so we talk to that person. And in the end, we go back to where we fought the Ordeal Sword, in the Hero Ice Cave. And you get the Holy Sword for this. And there's actually no prompt for this at the end of the scenario quest. But it seems pretty clear that it's the end of the scenario quest. And this does seem like, of all scenario quests to not give a proper message, this one feels like it works. Because in the end, Goto and Zezu just talk in the afterlife. They're like, hey, what's good, man? What's good? So yeah, you get the ultimate katana. That's the soda weapon for real. He's looking good with that weapon. Now, the last section, these are quests that I started. These are scenario quests I started, but I decided, okay, these ones have enough going on in them. That's not just talking to someone, going to sleep, talking to someone, going to sleep, maybe getting in the one boss fight, mini boss fight. That I realized, okay, let's leave these to the actual next episode. So yeah, next episode, episode 39, we'll be focused on these quests, but here's how I started them. So Hypnos. After defeating Haze, talked to Emil in jail. I actually forgot she was still alive. Yeah, she's hanging out there. Then talked to Itel in the Masakami Memorial. Itel asks us to defeat a monster in the Shiba Forest, which she creates a portal for inside the memorial. And, I thought, okay, let's see what this dungeon's like. Off screen, let me just check it out. I walked in that dungeon for like 5 seconds. I saw a tree doing something tree should never do. So I left without looking back. Goodbye, Itel. God bless. Moving on. We'll check that out next episode. Lastly, we got new start for Arietta. And God, can you believe it? This is the final quest line in this episode that we need to talk about. Technically. So this is the quest line involving Arietta, the character in Nigeria in, the green-haired Lucia girl. So we've already started it. The only thing I did off screen was go upstairs and stop this sort of conflict between Arietta and Jade, or whatever his name is. I don't know, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't really care. And we're just gonna do the rest of this next time, though. I got the guide ready, because I'm like, okay, so here's what we do next time. Got it. And the last quest I have to do, which I can't totally finish right now, is that infamous Hanoi quest, which has been sitting in my inventory, my quest list, forever. You cannot get the items here, at least one of them for sure, I know. You can't get until you go to the dungeon guarded by the Rainbow Dragon, and that's a story dungeon. So yeah, we're gonna have to save that for episode 40, maybe. we'll have to see how long episode 39 completing these last 2 scenario quests are. But yeah, the Hanoi quest we cannot complete till we actually defeat that rainbow dragon and go into that dungeon. Same with the collector quest. Let me see, the collect collections quest in High Rain. The items that you need, I think they are in that same dungeon. So, that's all of them. That's everything. Thanks for sticking around this long. This is a very different episode format, and I hope I helped you complete a quest or 2. But again, if you need more detailed help, or any info on 7 Dragon DS, from enemies to item drops and other quests, anything like that, definitely check the 7 Dragon Wiki link below. Though unfortunately, by checking this wiki, I learned that there is exactly 1 quest in this game that's expiration date. Just 1. And I missed it by a lot. Because this is supposed to be done, by the looks of it, before you defeat Invisible. That one dragon that you had to shine the orb on to make it stop stuff from going to its true form. We fought that thing in like episode, I don't know, 14, something like that. But yeah, very sad. This does mean I could not 100% this game in this run. But that's just how it is. Though I have to say, surprisingly, doing all these quests just like in a row, just spending the whole day doing all these, actually gave me like this newfound appreciation for this game. I don't know. It was actually nice just getting all these quests knocked out, getting all of them done. It was actually like not at all a slog like I thought it was gonna be, because I was like, God, here we go. The only parts that were slogs were the low drop rates, especially the weather hide, but eventually I was able to get those. Everything else, it was pretty chill to just, play the game while maybe listening to something, listening to some YouTube video, anything like that. But yeah, next time we will focus on those scenario quests. So till then,